Hey everybody, Ryan here, and let's talk about actually how to play Illuminati New World Order. I have the latest and greatest rules from March 1995. This is 1.1. I believe there's 1.2 or something newer, but I'll link to it in the description of the video, and you all can check it out. But we're going to go through it. So the first thing you do is roll to see who goes first, and all that good stuff. And then you and your opponents reveal your Illuminati cards. You can play the same Illuminati as somebody else. You represent a different faction of that Illuminati, and your Illuminati has a goal it's trying to reach, and it's listed on your card, special goal, and it tells you some other things about plots in this case. This one, the Gnomes of Zurich, any corporate group or bank with a power 4 or more count double toward the total number of groups controlled. So if you have 6 banks or 6 corporate, you have what is considered 12 groups, and you control 12 groups. In tournament rules, if you control 12 groups, congratulations, you won. The next thing you do is you have to reveal your first puppet. In this case, I've chosen the Church of Violentology, which is a violent corporate fanatic group. It is a church, also. There's a special thing down there. And so you line up the arrows, and you see it is a puppet, and that's its master. It has a power 2 resist. We're going to turn it this way just for sake of seeing stuff. But that's how you structure your... Actually, I'll do it this way. There. For everybody OCD like me. Match the arrows up. So it has its own special things, and it has its abilities. You got some flavor text, you got art, flavor text, and then what it does. And a lot of the cards have a wall of text. The next thing that we do after we go, if our opponent does not, or our opponent, no one else has this church, we get to keep it. If someone else had this, we would set it aside and pick another group, a backup group. So I would pick, well, that's what I was going to draw first to show you all, but I would pick, let's say, libertarians. Then what I do is I would draw 6 or 7. Let me check the rules again. I did read them before I turned on the camera here, but I just brain froze. But you would draw your group cards for your starting hand, and let's see, you. Anyway, I think it's like 6 or 7. You draw them, and then what you do after you draw your starting hand, you would take that card. If it's supposed to be your first group, you put it back and shuffle it back into your deck, your group deck. So you do not get to draw it your first turn. But we're going to play like no one else had this, and actually it's 6. We're going to draw our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what we have here, it's not a very good deck because this is supposed to be corporate, and these cards actually go with the communist theme and fanatic and liberal. It's like a green party deck I was trying to assemble. But what we would do then on our first turn, well, you would get your action tokens. So in Illuminati, you get action tokens, and they say use glass beads or whatever, but I prefer to use the dice because if you get an additional action token by granted something, you can just turn the dice as opposed to putting 2, and it can get unwieldy. So just you need your action tokens to do things, and then your first turn you would draw 1 plot card, put that right there, and you would draw your group you would want. We got feminists, I got a liberal group, and then you would do your automatic takeover. Let's see, what would we want? Let's get some international communist conspiracy guys here. Then if we wanted more plot cards, what we could do is we could spend action tokens to draw more, or we could play a plot card. So this one is play this card at any time using this card as an action for one group. Discard this card to draw 3 plot cards from your deck. So what we would do is we discard it and use our group action. You don't want to use your Illuminati action. You do, when it's required for certain things, but you only get one Illuminati action, generally. So if you use it, you have to wait till next turn to get your action back. So we're going to draw 3 plot cards. Oops, that's 4. And so we got Fundy Money, second bullet. If we fail an attack, or fail to destroy, if someone still has an action token, you can try again, basically. I lied. In the game, because this is meant to be a multiplayer game, like 3, 4, 5, 6 people playing at once, cards like I lied allow you to make a promise, and then this says, play this card immediately after you agree to sell, trade, or do something. Groups, plots, whatever. You don't have to keep your side of the deal, but the other player does. So, there you go. And lies, an abomination unto the Lord, and a very present help in a time of trouble. So, you can see how this would be useful in this game. But yes, he requires action. So this one doesn't require an action. So there's your plot cards. And that's really how you set it up and play. Combat, you compare power, and you can have support from puppets and masters, and then you roll dice, and there's resistance that you're trying to overcome. You're either trying to control your opponents or you're trying to destroy it, because I did put one in here. Let's see. Goal. So let's look at this goal. Any corporate group with power 4 or more counts double toward the number of groups you controlled. So you want to keep this goal in your hand. This card, New World Order, increase the power of all corporate groups by 2. You want to play this, and it's sort of like an enchantment on your field. And then corporate masters, you keep this in your hand. And so we already have corporate groups and bank count 4 more count double toward number of groups needed to control, and then they count double again. So the way the rules are written, the order of operations is, let me read this from the rule book. I just read this. There's some, quote, meta rules in the back of the rule book that, sorry I didn't have it bookmarked, but here is the handy dandy rule book. So meta rules. So first, when 2 plots conflict, the last one played is the one that rules. So if B is played to nullify A, and then C is immediately played to nullify B, then A is once again effective. Many cards change groups' power and resistance. So when several cards take effect, change a specific number comes first, then you multiply, divide, then the additions. So, for example, given as dentist is changed to a power of 6, then doubled, and then a New World Order card gives them +2. So the math would be change it to 6, multiply by 2, it's 12, then add 2, it's 14. When using 2 multiplying cards, increase the same stat of one group, for instance, double power, then double again. No matter what the card says, you may use only the single highest multiply effect. So, oops, made a mistake. You have to, can only use the multiply once. So that goal is, if once I meet my goal though, well, it's the same goal as the special goal, so it's kind of a dead card then under this. But anyway, so get a copy of the rules. Oh, and yeah, Illuminati groups never have alignments, and they can never be destroyed except by losing all their puppets. So, and that again is a victory condition. If you eliminate all the puppets from a Illuminati, then that person loses the game, and you've beaten them. But again, this game is designed to be played, or was intended to be played with more than 2 people. Oh, deck size. You want a deck size between the 2, your plots and your groups. 45 cards is recommended. They say no more than 20 group cards, because they each do different things. You can put another group card in your hand, 2 or more to get that draw, but it's not recommended. And then with the plot cards, you just want to be able to pump your guys because you're going to be attacking, gaining control, and trying to meet your Illuminati special goal or another goal that you might have in your bot deck. So you have something. Final thing I want to show you is the card thickness. I don't know if you can see that, but these cards are thick. This is 2 cards, and these you can see they've been bent, and they are not coming back from the bendo machine. Yep. So I did not bend these. They were in the big box of cards I got from somebody as a gift. So just want to show you that. Anyway, that's kind of the basic setup and how you start to play. There's a lot more specifics as far as combat, control, attack. If you're attacking player A and player C wants to jump in, they can. Or if you're in a big multiplayer group and you declare a privileged attack, then only you and the person you're attacking can aid and buff up your guys and decrease the other guys. So anyway, that's a real quick, not too in-depth of how to play the game. Anyway, like, subscribe, rate, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks.